Our main match today comes from Highbury, that massive derby game, Arsenal against Chelsea.
Little one towards the near post, Story going in! Oh, against the post!
Also today we start to search for a song for Arsenal fans to sing at Wembley, and we have the backing in this of manager Bertie Mee and his whole team as well. But now let's get on with the action from Highbury yesterday. Arsenal against Chelsea. A lot more than London Pride hanging on this one, with Arsenal second in the table and Chelsea third. A week of great tension for the Arsenal with those cup semi-finals, but in terms of manpower, at least they've managed to come through unscathed. Their team for this derby game is unchanged. Frank McClintock and George Armstrong both passed fitness test during the morning. But the real hero to emerge at Highbury in the last week is, of course, Peter Story, whose goals kept Arsenal alive in the Cup. Backed up in every sense by the bold front running of Ray Kennedy. What a brilliant first full season he's having. As for Chelsea, their team is also unchanged. It's the one that's disposed of Bruges and Leeds United in the past 10 days. And yet it's curious to see the name of Peter Bonetti missing. Illness has kept him out.
Hudson really was knocked to the ground there by Story. Hollins with the throw, and the linesman's flag's gone up. Osgood! He's flicked it! Has it gone over? But no, the whistle had gone in any case on that goal line, and the linesman had his flag up a long time before the whistle went as well. So there were two offences there, but Chelsea desperately close to going ahead. Again to the Arsenal with Armstrong, floating it once more. Kennedy looking for it, but Webb in fact getting ahead to it first. And Webb, having cleared it to Baldwin, was streaking up the field himself. Kennedy turning it on. Webb now trying to get back as Radford turns it in, and just wide there by George Graham. McNabb to Kennedy, and out of Armstrong. Kennedy to George Graham. Little one towards the near post. Story going in! Oh, against the post! What a beautiful cross though by Graham, and Story of all people popping up in that 6-yard area. There he is, to nod it against the far post, and now doing destroying work at the back for the Arsenal. But still Chelsea with Houseman. And Wilson getting that one at the near post. Charlie Cook with the corner though. Dempsey and Osgood. Dempsey getting ahead to it, and Baldwin to flick it in, but in fact the whistle had gone, because Dempsey was levering himself up onto the shoulders of an Arsenal defender. Tremendous crowd, and obviously any vantage point at Highbury this afternoon is a very good one indeed. Hudson and McClintock. Charlie George again bursting in on the scene there, and McCready going with it, but he still found Radford, and now George Graham. Armstrong coming in on it. Beautifully played there by Armstrong. Oh, and a dummy there, and there's Kennedy in! Oh, a fine goal by Kennedy! Armstrong played his part, George played his part, and so too did Ray Kennedy. And Rice with the free kick towards the far post there. Radford with his head just over. Climbing well at that far side, John Radford. Hollins now to drive the free kick. Dempsey looking to get underneath it, but it's Hudson. Told to float it back again. This time Simpson was up there, and Cook, and only just over. Arsenal's throw. George Graham, faced by Hollins. George Graham again in very quickly. My goodness, there wasn't much to spare with that one. And Chelsea claiming that Graham helped it along with his arm. Hudson again. McCready's gone down the left for him. Chelsea coming forward now in a fair bit of strength, but being pushed back once more. And now George to fasten on this one to show his speed. Radford, George, and now Kennedy claims for offside but not given, and a second goal by Ray Kennedy. George absolutely delighted, and as that one came across, Chelsea was standing still, and Kennedy controlled it beautifully to hammer that ball low past Phillips to put Arsenal 2-0 ahead. Well, Bertie Mee, the Arsenal manager on the left there, very satisfied, I would think, with the team's second half performance. Now 2 minutes of injury time gone. There goes the final whistle, and Arsenal have won only one of the last 11 games at Highbury between these two clubs, have now laid that bogey with a victory with 2 goals here by the number 10 Ray Kennedy that keeps them still very much in the running for the championship. 2 goals to Kennedy and a victory for the Arsenal. The final score then at Highbury is Arsenal 2, Chelsea 0.
Well, a fine performance from Ray Kennedy. And it was a funny game in many ways. You expect the boys to have a go in the local derby, and they did. Lots of it was sporting. They knocked each other over, got up and shook hands and went on. And the crowd, I think, entered into the fun and the spirit of it. But there was one moment in which the game may well have boiled over. It came near the end and really was unnecessary. And it shows how things can start from almost nothing. The first incident, Osgood flicks the ball up. Frank McClintock goes in. He's high for the ball, but I think he went for it quite legitimately. Now Ronnie Harris comes in higher than ever, and Frank McClintock didn't like that and gives him a nudge on the way back. That's not going to kill anybody, but you can see how the bad temper is just getting into it and how things may come out of hand. But there we were, so much for that particular incident, but there's been a lot of discussion recently, some of it on this programme, about the business of defenders tackling from behind. Geoff Hurst, Frank McClintock have said that they shouldn't do it. Ronnie Harris thinks that they should. Yesterday, we've had a perfect example of this kind of tackling when a forward screens the ball. As the ball's laid out, Ray Kennedy takes it and Harris tries to get in but can't. Now there's a bit of legitimate screening, a bit of instruction, but in the end, should a defender have the right to do that? I'd think that would be better out of our British game. I wonder whether you agree with me.
So there we are, the tackle from behind, one player going through another in an effort to get the ball. Should it be in or should it be out? You to decide. But now he's turned to our search for an Arsenal song, something in fact that we put to the Arsenal manager Bertie Mee and the players yesterday, and they were very happy indeed to accept it, because it's something that we feel that Arsenal desperately need at Wembley on May the 8th if they're not to be outsung by that famous Liverpool cop. And by an enormous coincidence, it was something that Danny Blanchflower in his column in the Sunday Express this morning also agreed with. Said, Danny, Arsenal supporters have something to sing about now that they're going to Wembley, but there's no real song in their heart. Perhaps it'll come before they arrive at Wembley, because we know what Liverpool's will be, You'll Never Walk Alone. I hope they're not singing alone at the Cup final. It would add a bit of colour to the occasion if the Arsenal supporters could now come up with a song of their own. Well, that was a coincidence. That's Danny's view. Now let's get a view on the question of an Arsenal song from their manager, Bertie Mee.
Oh, very valuable indeed. When we get to Wembley with Liverpool in the opposite camp, as you know, the Cop make a tremendous noise and they have a wonderful choir there. If we could compete in any shape or form, I think it'd be a tremendous boost to the boys. It really would.
So you and the lads are really supporting this effort to find a real Arsenal song?
Yes, indeed. I've already spoken to them and they're very enthusiastic about it. They think it's a great idea and anything we can do will most certainly help.
So there you are, you Arsenal fans. As Bertie Mee says, it really would be a tremendous boost for the boys at Wembley. Now, this is our plan because we believe that Land and Hope and Glory could be the right sort of stirring music for an occasion like this. And what we want you to do is to try and find the right sort of words to go with that tune to produce a sound and a sight like this. McClintock, Bertie Mee and the boys are going to look through the whole lot of them and choose the right words for that Arsenal song. And we promise to give you lads up on the North Bank and the rest of you at Highbury, 1 or 2 rehearsals at first team matches before you go to Wembley. So let's find a song for the Arsenal and help them to win at Wembley.